Hi everyone, Reverend Sarah from St. Paul's United in Paris. I hope you're doing really great. It is chugging along this season of Advent, and we are already at Advent 3, the season of joy and the celebration of joy that we lifted up this past Sunday. And I'm going to get into a quick reflection on that in a moment. But before that, I want to remind folks that this evening, Tuesday, December the 13th at 7 p.m., we are lifting up a service called Blue Christmas, and we're doing this by having a candlelight vigil on the front steps of the church. Now, just a little bit of background on both Blue Christmas and why we're doing it outside. So Blue Christmas has its origins not too long ago, actually. This service of worship was created somewhere in North America, somewhere around 1990, and it's a movement that's grown and become fairly common across Christian denominations. And the idea was, it first grew out of December 21st, which is the winter solstice. It is the longest day of darkness in North America in the year, in the calendar year. And so the idea was to talk about the darkness that people can feel in this time of year that for others is joyful, is merry, is full of festivities and time with family and friends. But that's not the case for every single person. And so the idea behind a Blue Christmas service was to create an alternative space, a space for people who are grieving, people who have lost friendships or jobs or struggling with mental health or physical health even. It's a time when we can gather and lament and remember. And so we are creating that space outside as a candlelight vigil. And our origins at St. Paul's of that started just a couple of years ago with the pandemic in 2020 when we were under heavy lockdown restrictions indoors, but we were allowed to gather safely outside as the Christmas Eve service was approaching. We knew we could have this outside service. And what we found was how deeply meaningful it was to offer up our light into the darkness. And so that's what we've continued to do. We find people deeply engaged in this sacred time. So please join us tonight if you need that space, and all are welcome. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to know really what's going on. We'll guide you through it, but it is for us to have a space together for lament, for grief, for whatever the season is holding for you that might be heavy on your hearts this year. Then this coming Sunday, we are moving on to Lessons and Carols and our Sunday celebrating the Advent of Love. So Lessons and Carols is another thing we've been missing the last couple of years. Not many opportunities to sing together or opportunities missed. And we love this time of year. So I'm so grateful for Lessons and Carols at 9:30 over at Richwood, at 11 at St. Paul's. Lots of opportunity that we've been missing to sing together, and fun will be had for this Sunday. And then the last thing I want to remind folks of is our time change to our Christmas Eve service. So we finally narrowed it down to one service for Christmas Eve at St. Paul's starting at 7:30 p.m. It is a family-friendly, all-ages service of worship. There's going to be a bit of fun. There's going to be some candlelight. There's going to be lots of singing and time together, again, that we've missed over the last couple of years. So please join us. All are welcome. This past Sunday, we talked about the Advent of Joy, but we also lifted up the character in the Nativity story who doesn't get a whole lot of attention normally, and that is Joseph. So there is many paintings from the Renaissance to now. There is artwork of all different kinds and forms on social media. There's songs written about Jesus, about Mary, about the animals, about the shepherds and the magi and the angels, even the star. But Joseph is not a man who gets a lot of airtime in this story. And yet he is a man quiet and faithful who did extraordinary things by saying yes. And our Sanctified Art resource actually says what he did was he chose a better way. And when Joseph was visited in that dream, he was engaged to Mary, not yet married. They hadn't had any marital relations, so there was no way that Mary should have been pregnant. But he was visited in that dream and told, Mary's going to have a baby. It's the Holy Son of God. I want you to get on board and be part of this and be a father to this baby. And so Joseph woke up from that dream with three different options. His first, to divorce Mary publicly and shame her. the second to divorce her quietly and just, fly under the radar and let her go off and do her thing and move on with his life. And then he had a third option, and the option that he chose, and the option that they say is the better way, and that is to say yes to God's plan for him, to say yes to being the father of Jesus and earthly father of Jesus, and saying yes to continuing with his commitment to marrying Mary. So lots of things for him to think about. I'm sure it was a really heavy decision for him to make. And we too, in our lifetimes, this is where we can relate to Joseph. In our lifetimes, we're all presented with really hard decisions at different ages and stages. And where in our life have we been presented with opportunities to choose a better way, and we've gone for that better way? And then I also ask people to reflect on the times when they chose not the best way, when they chose the easy way, or the way that didn't put them out or make them uncomfortable and didn't inconvenience them in any way. That's something for us all to think about, because at some point in our life, we've done both. We've chosen the better way. We've also taken the easy way out and not chosen the best way possible, but the one that was, good enough for us. So I know that's a lot to think on, but that's the job this week for you to reflect and think on. Feel free to leave a comment in the sections below, either on Facebook or YouTube. And wherever you are this day, my friends, I hope you're safe and well, and I get to see you soon. We'll talk to you later.